do you think China's threats of countermeasures against the U.S. and Taiwan are credible, or are they mostly rhetorical?
Well, I think at least between now and the time President Trump takes office, it's all rhetorical.
Mm.
I mean, if the Chinese wanted to take action against Taiwan, they could do something. But right now, I just see it as just a lot of rhetoric, a lot of threats. I mean, more of the same stuff that we've been seeing from Beijing for the past 5, 6 years.
Dr. Chen, Russia has expressed unlimited support for China's position on Taiwan. Can Beijing count on Moscow's support in case of any violent escalation?
Well, this is actually I would say this is not really the right question to ask, because the Taiwan situation, at least in the view of China, we're now trying to resolve it through military means. So far, although we've had military drills, which, as I said earlier, is more of a show of force to send a message, but the military solution has never been what we are trying to pursue. We're still trying to bring back Taiwan through diplomatic means. And a full-scale
And
warfare.
support means diplomatic as well. It doesn't mean only military, sir. It also means diplomatic. So it's still support at the end of the day.
Of course, of course. And I would actually not single out Russia. I would say the vast majority of the countries in the world would support the Chinese stance on such issues, not only because China have enjoyed great diplomatic relationship with other countries in the world, but also the countries in the world recognize that this issue is not something to be interfered by foreign forces. It is a domestic issue for China.
Mr. Rosmondo, in light of the deepening partnership between China and Russia, will any escalation on the Taiwan front further exacerbate global tensions linked to the war in Ukraine?
Well, I think that see the two is kind of like not really very linked, because what the Chinese decide to do in Taiwan is up to it. However, it's not like with North Korea, where they're sending 100,000 troops to be trained in Russia and to be part of Russia's war effort in Ukraine. Although you have had cases of the Chinese providing weapons and other logistical support and funding to the Russians. So I think that the two are not really closely linked, as some think.
Mr. Rosmondo, critics argue that the Biden administration's Taiwan policies could actually and inadvertently provoke Beijing. Are these concerns even credible?
Well, Beijing has so far been a lot of provocations, a lot of activities. I think that most recently you also have the U.S. Saying that it's deploying Marines with anti-ship weapons to the South Japanese islands as a deterrent. I think that right now we're not at a point where the Chinese are going to invade, or they have invaded. So I think a lot of it is rhetoric.
Dr. Chen, how does China interpret the Biden administration's stance on Taiwan? Do you see it as a strategic containment of Beijing or something else?
I would say if for the U.S. and not only for the Biden administration, but actually we have seen reports from the U.S. Targeting China and identifying China as the greatest threat to the U.S. So I'm not really hoping to see any significant changes on China's attitude in regards to strategic containment. I think this is maybe a very light word to use already. The U.S. is not only containing China, but it's preventing China to survive. And the measures they have employed, not only on the military front, but also with tech, with a lot of other means, they are really treating China as an enemy country. But I think this is definitely goes against the interest of the U.S. And we're hoping that other countries in the world, especially the countries in the global South, can help U.S. to realize that their move, their intention, on what they are doing is wrong. And we're hoping through this unified voice, we can bring the U.S. Back to not the negotiation table, but back to a place where we can cooperate, where we can talk.
Okay. Mr. Rismondo, looking ahead, what might we expect from Donald Trump's Taiwan strategy if he returns to the White House? Could it differ significantly from Biden's approach, in your own opinion?
Well, I think that you'll probably see an increase in terms of U.S. arms production. There's been talk about increasing the U.S. defense budget to compete with China's turnout of ships, planes, missiles, and so forth. And I think that really what Biden has done, it's been, in a way, a continuation of the first Trump administration's policies. So I think that you'll see a continuation of the sorts of policies from Donald Trump you saw in the first administration.